The shocking news of Neil Dudgeon being kicked off Lorraine Kelly's show after a fiery confrontation has sent ripples throughout the entertainment industry, with fans of Midsomer Murders expressing their surprise and concern over the beloved actor's unexpected behavior during the live television appearance. The Midsomer Murder star, who has portrayed the role of DCI John Barnaby with such dedication and skill for many years now, was scheduled to appear on the popular daytime program to promote the new season of the series that continues to captivate audiences with its unique blend of mystery, humor and British charm. As the show began, everything seemed normal, with Lorraine Kelly welcoming her guest with her usual enthusiasm and warmth that has made her a household name across the UK and beyond. Neil Dudgeon entered the studio looking composed and ready to engage in what everyone anticipated would be a pleasant conversation about his career highlights and the exciting developments in the upcoming episodes of Midsomer Murders. However, beneath the surface there were signs that the interview might not go as smoothly as planned, as the actor appeared somewhat distracted and less forthcoming than in his previous public appearances. The host started with standard questions about the show, but as she touched upon certain aspects of the script and character development, Neil's responses began to reveal a growing frustration that would soon erupt into the confrontation that shocked everyone watching. This incident has now become a major talking point, with people speculating about what could have caused such a dramatic exit from the set and what it means for the future of both the actor and the show he represents so prominently in the world of British television drama. The video footage of the moment has been shared widely, drawing in viewers from all walks of life who are eager to understand the full story behind this surprising event that has dominated headlines in recent days. Insiders have revealed that Neil had been under a lot of stress from the demanding filming schedule of Midsomer Murders, which requires extensive location shoots across the UK and long hours that can take a toll on even the most seasoned professionals in the industry. Lorraine Kelly, who has hosted her show for many years and interviewed countless celebrities without incident, was visibly surprised by the sudden change in tone, but tried her best to keep things professional and move on to lighter topics like Neil's hobbies and family life. Despite her efforts, the actor continued to show signs of irritation, leading to the inevitable clash that would make headlines around the world the very next day. The producers watching from the control room were already preparing for potential issues as they noticed the escalating situation unfolding on their monitors, but even they were caught off guard by how rapidly the confrontation developed into a full-blown argument that could not be contained within the usual format of the program. As the interview progressed on Lorraine Kelly's show, the conversation took a turn that no one expected when the host decided to ask Neil Dudgeon about his thoughts on the evolution of television dramas and how Midsomer Murders has managed to stay relevant in a changing media landscape filled with more gritty and realistic crime shows from around the world. The actor initially responded politely, explaining how the series maintains its lighthearted approach while still delivering compelling stories that keep fans coming back week after week for the latest installment of village murders and clever detective work. But when Lorraine pressed further on whether the show should incorporate more modern social issues like diversity and current political themes to appeal to younger audiences, Neil Dudgeon's demeanor changed dramatically, his voice rising as he defended the traditional format of the program that has made it a staple of British television for so long. He argued passionately that Midsomer Murders' success lies in its escapist nature and its focus on classic storytelling rather than forcing contemporary agendas into every episode, a stance that seemed to clash with Lorraine's more progressive views on entertainment content. The exchange grew more heated with each passing minute as the two professionals exchanged pointed remarks that highlighted their differing opinions on the direction of the industry, leaving the studio audience shifting uncomfortably in their seats and the production crew exchanging worried glances behind the cameras. This fiery confrontation was building up to a point where calm discussion was no longer possible, and the tension in the air was palpable to anyone watching the live broadcast that morning. Neil's face turned red with emotion as he continued to make his case, emphasizing that his role in the series is about providing entertainment and not making political statements, a position he has always held dear throughout his career. The moment marked a clear shift from the friendly banter that had started the segment, setting the stage for the dramatic conclusion that would follow and leave a lasting impression on all those who witnessed it firsthand. The audience members later recounted how the atmosphere shifted from light and engaging to intensely charged within just a few minutes, causing several viewers at home to pause their daily routines and focus entirely on the unfolding drama that was captivating screens across the nation and beyond. Producers scrambled to monitor the situation closely, realizing that this was no ordinary celebrity chat but one that could potentially damage the reputation of the show if not handled with extreme care and professionalism. The argument reached its peak when Lorraine Kelly attempted to calm the situation by suggesting that perhaps Neil Dudgeon was taking the question too personally and that there was room for both traditional and modern approaches in television today. But this only seemed to fuel the fire even more as the Midsomer murder star stood up from his chair and raised his voice in a way that was completely out of character for the reserved actor known to millions. He accused the host of not understanding the pressures of long-running series like his and how constant changes could ruin the essence that fans love so much about the show, pointing out specific examples from past episodes where the balance had been perfectly maintained without needing to overhaul everything for the sake of trends. Lorraine, maintaining her composure as best she could, tried to interject with questions to redirect the talk back to safer territory like Neil's personal life and hobbies outside of acting, but it was too late. As the confrontation had already escalated beyond control, the live audience was now murmuring among themselves, some cheering for Neil's strong defense of his work while others looked shocked at the intensity of the exchange unfolding before their eyes. On Lorraine Kelly's show, producers could be seen rushing towards the set from the sidelines, whispering instructions into earpieces and preparing for the possibility of having to intervene if things got any worse than they already were. At that critical point, Neil Dudgeon's passionate outburst continued for several more minutes, covering topics from script writing challenges to the importance of staying true to the original vision of Midsomer Murders, all while the cameras captured every detail of the fiery moment that would soon go viral across the internet. This was not the promotional appearance anyone had anticipated, and it highlighted the challenges of live television where unscripted moments can turn into major controversies in an instant, especially when dealing with stars who feel strong why about their projects and how they are perceived by the public. The tension continued to build as Neil gestured emphatically, making his points with such force that even the usually unflappable Lorraine appeared momentarily taken aback by the sheer intensity of his reaction, leading to a brief pause in the broadcast where the host could be seen trying to regain control of the segment without further alienating her guest or the viewers at home who were glued to their screens waiting to see how this unprecedented clash would resolve itself in real time. In the midst of the escalating tension on the set of Lorraine Kelly's show, the producers finally decided it was time to step in as Neil Dudgeon's confrontation showed no signs of de-escalating, leading to the shocking moment where the Midsomer murder star was asked to leave the studio immediately to prevent further disruption to the live broadcast. He stood up abruptly, declaring that he would not continue under such conditions, and walked off the stage with a determined stride that left the host and audience in stunned silence for what felt like an eternity. Lorraine Kelly quickly recovered, apologizing to viewers at home and transitioning smoothly to the next segment as if nothing had happened, but the damage was already done and the clip of Neil being kicked off was already being recorded by phones in the audience for immediate sharing online. The actor's departure was swift and without any further words, but the expression on his face spoke volumes about the frustration he had been holding back during the fiery exchange that had dominated the interview. From the midpoint onward, security personnel escorted him out discreetly while the show continued, but the incident had already become the main topic of discussion among the remaining guests and crew members who were left to process what had just transpired in front of millions of viewers. This walk-off has been described by eyewitnesses as one of the most dramatic exits in daytime television history, with comparisons being made to other famous celebrity meltdowns on live shows over the years. The decision to remove Neil Dudgeon was made in the interest of maintaining the professional standards of Lorraine's program, which has always prided itself on respectful and entertaining conversations with its high-profile guests from the world of acting and beyond. The immediate aftermath saw the studio buzzing with whispers and hurried conversations as staff members worked to restore normalcy while dealing with the unexpected void left by the star's sudden exit, leaving a gap in the schedule that had to be filled creatively on the spot without losing the flow of the morning's programming or disappointing the live audience who had come expecting a standard celebrity interview but instead received a front-row seat to one of the most talked-about moments in recent British television history. Following the dramatic exit of Neil Dudgeon from Lorraine Kelly's show, social media exploded with reactions from fans and critics alike, with hashtags like Neil Dudgeon walks and Midsomer Confrontation trending within minutes of the incident airing live across the UK. Supporters of the actor praised him for standing up for the integrity of Midsomer murders and not allowing the conversation to be steered in directions he felt were inappropriate for the context of the promotion, while detractors argued that his behavior was unprofessional and disrespectful to the host, who was simply doing her job in engaging with current topics. Clips of the fiery confrontation were edited and shared widely on platforms such as YouTube, TikTok and Twitter, garnering millions of views and sparking debates and comment sections about the role of celebrities in public discourse and whether live television interviews should avoid sensitive subjects altogether. Lorraine Kelly herself addressed the matter briefly in a later segment, expressing our regret that the interview had taken such a turn, but emphasizing her respect for Neil as a talented performer who has contributed so much to British television through his work on the long-running detective series. The network behind the show released a statement indicating that they were reviewing the footage internally but had no further comments at the time, leaving many wondering if there would be any long-term repercussions for either party involved in this unexpected event. As the day progressed, more details emerged from sources close to the production, suggesting that the confrontation had been brewing due to recent changes in the Midsomer murder storyline, that Neil was not entirely happy with adding another layer of intrigue to the story that continued to dominate entertainment news cycles. Viewers at home and online continued to dissect every second of the clip, analyzing facial expressions, body language and tone of voice to determine who was at fault in the fiery exchange, while also speculating about possible behind-the-scenes tensions that might have contributed to the actor's decision to walk off the set so abruptly without completing the promotional segment that had been carefully planned for weeks in advance. In the aftermath of Neil Dudgeon being kicked off Lorraine Kelly's show, the Midsomer murder star issued a short statement through his representatives, apologizing for any disruption caused during the live appearance and reaffirming his commitment to the series that has defined much of his acting career over the past decade or more. He explained that the fiery confrontation stemmed from a misunderstanding and that he valued the opportunity to promote the show but felt the discussion had veered off course in a way that made it difficult to continue professionally. Fans of the actor have rallied behind him, launching online petitions and campaigns to support his return to future interviews without similar incidents, while also calling for more careful handling of guest segments on daytime programs like Lorraine's to avoid such escalations in the future. The entire episode has served as a reminder of the intense pressures faced by public figures in the spotlight and how a single moment in a live broadcast can overshadow years of successful work in the industry. As Midsomer Murders continues to air new episodes with Neil Dudgeon at the helm, viewers are eagerly watching to see if the actor's performance shows any signs of distress from this public confrontation, although most agree that his dedication to the role remains unwavering despite the controversy. Lorraine Kelly's show has moved on to other guests and topics, but the memory of that dramatic day lingers, with many hoping for a future reconciliation or at least a more positive interaction between the host and the star in upcoming appearances. This event has undoubtedly added a new chapter to the history of British television, proving once again that even the most seasoned professionals can have moments where emotions run high and lead to unexpected outcomes that capture the public's imagination for weeks on end. Industry experts have weighed in on the situation, suggesting that such incidents highlight the need for better preparation and boundary setting in live interviews to ensure that promotional segments remain focused and respectful while still allowing for authentic conversation that engages audiences without crossing into uncomfortable territory for the participants involved in the process. Overall, the story continues to evolve as more reactions pour in from fellow actors, directors and television personalities who have shared their own experiences with similar high-pressure moments on set, reminding everyone that behind the glamour of fame there are real human emotions that can surface unexpectedly during moments of intense public